Okay, we're here with Helen and Richard Shull at the show at the El Dorado here right before Turquoise, before Indian Market, and they are Esmeralda Turquoise, and we also have Dai Masaki, a special guest here from Japan. You all know Dai. He's mentioned in Turquoise in America Part 3 and was part of the Japanese traders that really changed the pricing structure of high-grade turquoise because you were willing to spend more money. So that was both good and bad. So starting with Helen and Richard, what do you think of the current state of turquoise in America, 2023?
Well, it's a definitely changing market, and a lot of that has to do with the lack of natural turquoise coming out of new material. While it's coming out, it's much more scarce than it's ever been. So prices are higher, but because of that, you see more of stabilized in the market as well, just to fill the need, because there's just not enough natural material. But there are new finds being made as well, because a number of us are out there looking for it.
You're going to tell us about that in a moment here.
I think it's a vibrant market. There's a lot going on. People really love the diversity of different turquoises out there.
So one thing in Nevada, the good news is you have generally more highly silicated stone, so you have less chalk than others, but the bad news is you don't have all that chalk to stabilize.
Right.
So it becomes a problem.
There's a lot of operations in other places will fund the other part of their business with that stabilized material.
Great. Dai, what are you finding now coming over from Japan? I'm sure you're looking to buy the good stuff.
Yeah, but not in recently. That's a long time, like some years ago or more years ago. So now I just keep on coming and watching what's going on.
So a lot of our viewers are familiar with your Facebook page, where you show a lot of this magnificent dark web turquoise in your jewelry.
Yeah,
And is that mostly older stuff that you bought? That you've had?
Yeah, like in 1990s or early 2000. Yeah.
Well, that's what we certainly mentioned in Turquoise in America Part 3.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You're glad you bought it then. Well, do you have some turquoise to show us here?
Yes.
Yes, our new find.
Our new find. Here we go.
We have a new find from a deposit that has never been mined, was never discovered until recently. It was somewhat buried by a scree slope, and the first pieces we found were big rocks with very hard, thin veins, and I flipped one of those over and there were nuggets that were still bright blue that might have been weathering for thousands of years and were not hard. So we spent days pursuing where the source of that was, because there was so much overburden on the slope, and came to where this material was coming out. There's a number of other colors and looks to the material as well.
Yes, they sold out quickly, but you can see some of them here if you want to see examples.
So a little bit more of a web
greens
look,
and yellows and
a
blues.
little more brighter electric blue.
And then
Also,
some starts to get the dark.
heading towards black web and bright, vibrant electric blues.
Well, you know, the funny thing about turquoise is you'll have some people who just there are people who just go crazy over what they think is white turquoise. It's just white and black, and they think that's the greatest thing in the world. Or they'll look at a ribbon and they just love it. So sometimes that's good, because it is about fashion and diversity.
Right.
Yeah,
That's one
wonderful.
thing about turquoise, is that there's so many different looks. We have people who say, I always hated turquoise, but I like this.
Yeah.
And that's what's amazing, especially out of Nevada, is all the different looks with the greens, the blues, spiderweb.
So I know you have operations in Esmeralda County and also in Lander County.
In Lander County.
Is
and
this a
Mineral
Lander County find?
This is in Esmeralda County.
That's what I meant, Esmeralda
Yeah.
County.
Yes.
Good. Now, I've heard these projections that you're going to get to some of those Lander County properties and promising that we may see a new look here. the Northern Lights.
Right. Well, that's the
Have
plan.
you been there yet?
We haven't been there yet this year because of the rain. There was so much snow and then rain with the mud, we couldn't even get to the mine yet. So, and then with monsoons this summer.
You know, I was talking to Pancho Williams, who has Nevada Blue, which is up kind of in the same neck of the woods.
Right.
That's where you are. And his son tried to drive up there. Of course, that's a hard one to get to, best of times. And he said because of all the rain and a very difficult winter, it's washed out.
I was not surprised at all about that. So many of the mines have had that kind of situation this year.
Yeah. So the good news is the high graders can't get there. The bad news is the miners can't get
Exactly.
there. It's a challenge. Okay, well, thank you very much, Helen, Richard, Di.
Thank you, Mike.
And I always have to watch out because wherever this guy's going, he's the one who's buying up all the good turquoise before I can get there. So thanks very much.
Thank you.
So we're here with Shahryar Zamansani.
Yes,
Yeah.
perfect pronunciation.
Perfect pronunciation. You know, you should hear my Farsi. It's excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent
I
Farsi.
saw those fine newspaper articles about
Yes.
Persian turquoise.
Yes. So
70s.
I wanted to ask you, you're 3 weeks back from Iran. You're going to show us some of this beautiful turquoise. What is the current situation of turquoise in Iran?
Well, the turquoise mining is going on very strongly. As I have mentioned, there is two main mine in Iran. One is Neshabur, which is northeast, and it's the oldest mine, or I should say, first mine that was discovered. And the current mining is about, I believe, 19.
In Kerman province?
No,
also?
no. This is in Khorasan province.
Khorasan.
Neshabur.
But the other area
Yeah.
is in Kerman.
Kerman
Province.
Kerman province, which is actually a copper mine.
And so there's more softer stone that is stabilized coming out of Kerman.
Rather than Neshabur.
Nishabur is a harder.
Is a harder and more you could see this kind of quality.
Yes.
Versus Kerman is you could see that kind of
On our blog, we have a video about the Persian turquoise, because even though it's from Iran, we continue to really market it as
Thank you.
Persian,
Thank you.
which I think is
Yeah.
more accurate.
More accurate. It's been known as that. It's
Exactly.
been known as that. Since late 1800s.
Yes, indeed.
They didn't refer to it as Iranian turquoise. The name Iran came after Pahlavi regime came
Yes.
into power.
Yes.
But before that, it was always Persian.
Always Persian.
See, this is from one few pieces of postcard.
Yeah.
So it gives you the iron and the variety of the light.
Yeah.
I mean, light to dark. But then you could see the influence, coming from seeing the rough. In my eyes, is much. I could be more accurate than somebody who sees just the caps. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a combination. This is the combination of both two. I kept it together as far as the educational purpose. I kept it for that reason. Now we go to this is something exceptional.
Oh my gosh.
So
Because of the size.
the size and the pattern,
Great.
like I know this too is from one hole struck, but this is from a different but same vein. But I am 100% sure I didn't cut this. These we cut, but I didn't cut this. This was another miner, and he didn't want to sell it. I had to bake him, basically bake him.
Well, if he
So-
would wait 2 days, inflation would be up and he'd get that much more.
So I
Yeah.
got it. I purchased it, but this is our
So-
own stone.
For some idea, what would the carat price of these different stones?
Okay, in here,
No, here.
well, here I am selling this as a lot. I don't want to
Break it up.
break it up.
That's okay.
To be very fair, I'm selling 35. I think it's very fair.
It is.
Then whoever purchased it could make some money. I mean, we think of end user or the collector, not so much. I think it's very fair for the lot 35.
Yeah. So when you say the lot, this would be this?
This.
All of this?
This three, not
All,
this.
okay. And for these, you're selling 3 together?
Selling to get three together, 70.
70 a carat.
Yeah, I think it's
It's probably worth it. It's just
probably worth it.
it's just a big.
that's the problem. Yeah, I know exactly. Our mind works together. However, they got a few clear ones, which was really magnificent.
Yeah.
Neshabur. Neshabur is you know.
I know.
And then this one is really something that's your Tiffany. Remember the Tiffany we talked?
Well, this is like those rings that you sold.
Exactly. This is from that material.
So I asked the viewers to please take a look at that blog because everything I know about Persian turquoise I learned from Shahryar.
Thank you. I appreciate
And
that.
Top Turquoise is his
Name.
company.
Yes.
And you can get that on its top-turquoise.com.
Yes.
And you can get all you need of this beautiful stone.
Thank you.
Shahryar would
Thank you,
love
Bob.
to sell you some.
Thank you. Thank you. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
So I'm here with Dayton Simmons, Silver Day Trading Company, and he's got his assistant here is
Chris Murphy.
Chris Murphy. So, Dayton, Chris, in your opinion, what is the current state of turquoise in America 2023?
A little scary, but manageable. If you take some time to do some research, get some references, talk to people. Do not take anybody's word just because they say it's something. Don't believe anything. Let the buyer beware. Know who you're dealing with. It's the best advice I can give anybody. I give seminars, a GIA level seminar on turquoise called Turquoise Natural or Otherwise, in which I discuss what natural turquoise is, the hard silicified material that is hard enough to cut and polish as it comes out of the ground, and the chalk, which is 95% of the world's turquoise. It's a soft, immature turquoise, pale, porous, chalky, sticks to your tongue. That they treat in a variety of manners, and that is 95 to 97% of what's on the market.
Now, your niche has been the natural turquoise.
I deal exclusively in natural, mostly American turquoise.
Now, we're going to look at some number 8, which of course has been a challenge. You talk about caveat emptor because it's been involved in lawsuits and so much of
Yes.
it was that chalk that was stabilized. And
then
so
the
it's
Elgin
been-
process.
The Elgin
Once
process.
Elvin Jennings got a hold of it.
We have on our blog turquoise, number 8 turquoise update, which explains the kind of update on that Elgin turquoise and that sort
Have you heard about the
situation.
Australian guy who bought
That's
the process?
exactly what it's about. So, you were saying here on this 8, you found this, it was one of these serendipitous,
It's a classic Nevada story.
you found it in a floorboard of a warehouse.
The man I bought the cabs from found a stash of 75 pounds of rough number 8 under the floorboards. The previous owner of the bar would trade liquor for turquoise, probably traded it straight across the road, literally, with Dal Ward back in the day. And he bought the building, was redoing some remodeling. There was the rock.
There was the rock. Well, that's wonderful.
And then the Godber Burnham, which I have right next door, this is another classic, famous American turquoise mine that I bought all this material straight from the miners, the woods. Good friends of mine, and got to spend the night, got to look through just dozens of cases of turquoise and got to high grade and pick all this beautiful material.
Well, you certainly have up here, we're looking at some very high grade Godber Burnham. There on that top row on that other one, that people think that the Dry Creek is its own mine, and of course it's just a marketing name for Godber Burnham. So
Right,
we have that.
The more pale pastel
pale-
material is the original Godber Dry Creek. And then, of course, so much of what's in the market as Dry Creek for the last 20 years is really from the Valley Blue mine. And they just call it Dry Creek because of the marketing.
Well,
name, the
and
marketing
Valley
value.
Blue, we talk about that in Turquoise in America. Part
I love Valley
2.
Blue. It's great turquoise.
And that was a marketing name for it, and it had its own name after the 3 partners But I won't tell you about that because you can read about that.
Okay.
Turquoise in America, Part
Okay,
2.
right.
Well, this is great. Well, Dayton, hope you have a wonderful show.
Let's see if Chris has anything to add. I'm
Chris.
sitting here talking, but
I am fine.
Chris is he's a very fine cutter. He's getting ready to turn pro here in the next probably 6 to 12 months, and he makes great jewelry and cuts great stones. So he's got some thoughts too. Also, I'm sure.
And I am still being mentored by him, so
Well, we tell
Yeah.
or I should say, Dayton tells his story in Turquoise in America, Part 3,
Yes.
about his mentors, and now he's passing it on.
I love it. You
He
know,
loves
the talk I did at GIA back in 2007, and I'm giving that talk to this Albuquerque Gem and Mineral Club next month. I just gave a talk in LA to the South Orange County Gem and Mineral Club. Did another talk to San Francisco Gem and Mineral Club. I love the educational aspect of what I do.
You've been on the road for many, many years.
Yes.
And you do repair.
Yeah.
One of the foremost repairers. You got Indian jewelry needs to be repaired. This is where we go. So.
Yep. In fact, Pam was talking to me today about a bracelet for Zagin Stone. So.
best.
Okay.
Well, Mike and
Well,
Pam,
thanks.
thank you for stopping by our
you
booth.
bet, you bet.
Good to speak with you, and we'll check this out once it
Yeah,
comes
once
out
it comes
the
on.
blog.